Number one, most important, thank you all for being here. Very much appreciated. Uh, Taking the time out to make it a more involved direct, where we're in front of a radio, we could be drinking coffee and a little chit chatting with other people. This is a little more fully involved, and we thank you for taking the time out very much. Quickly, little opening remarks uh, regarding the steering committee. We're all here tonight. Uh, each member, we contribute with each one of our personal strengths, but we do this as a team, and it has been developing over 3 years. Members, some are more original, others are more recent, but it's always we bring forth and provide with what we think is the best, and we put it into a pool. A particular note that I want to make a very strong note about is David ND1J, which I know you all know his call sign. He pretty much comes up with all the exercises and drills now for 2 years, all the training modules, and the rest of us help. We'll suggest modifications. We may say, this is kind of a good idea. And then David goes away and comes back with all the great work that he does. That is the majority of what EDM is about. The rest of us, we support EDM with more background type activity. A lot of it you do not see, but I want you to know that it's there. Andy, he keeps the members list intact and checks everybody who wants to join and says yes or no. Mike helps with surveys and data extraction, and he's come up with some really neat ways that we did not have available before. And then I'll do videos from time to time, like the quick little intro that I did the other day. Gary does paperwork to keep us all on the same page from week to week. Without it, sometimes we might get lost as to what did we do and say last week. And I appear to be the main spokesperson. That's because I like to do this. And so the other guys like that I do it, that they don't have to pretty much. But this is the one time I then say, however, I want you guys who are part of the EDM team to know who are your steering committee members who keep doing all this work for you. So I'm going to start off with the one I mentioned who does the bulk work. David, if you could please just a little something.
Okay, hello everybody, and glad we could have you here tonight. It's been 7 months, almost to the day, since we had our last meeting. We'll try to make the next one a little more frequent, I think. As Roy mentioned, I'm head of exercise development and training for the group, a job that I really enjoy, but spend an awful lot of time at, as you can imagine. I'm the one that keeps cranking out all the messages that you get. I just wanted to touch on a couple things real quick. Uh, Tomorrow, I'm going to be publishing the latest training module, number 42. That's the module that's concerning 60-meter operations. And hopefully you know that on November 13th, we're going to conduct a practice net of some sort on 60 meters using VAR HF peer-to-peer. And so this is kind of a prelude to that for those who have never even heard of 60 meters, let alone never been on it. So look for that tomorrow. Next week, we have two exercises. They're unrelated. The Tuesday night one is a VARAC exercise where we're going to test the fairly new feature that VARAC has, which is called automatic check-in request. It's a beaconing request, and it's pretty easy to set up. The instructions are already published, and if anybody has any questions tonight, let me know and I can answer those. The biggest thing to remember about Tuesday night is it's going to be very unlike all of our other exercises. You people who are field stations are going to have a very inactive role. And as a matter of fact, you could even just have it running the whole night on 40 meters and you'd probably do fine. But you're not going to be beaconing. You're not going to be broadcasting. You're not going to be connecting to anybody. And so basically, you're really not going to do any transmitting except when your VARAC hears the magic code come in saying, send me a beacon, and it'll automatically send that beacon. So just keep that in mind, stay inactive, don't be broadcasting, because we want the frequency to be clear for my broadcasts out to everybody that involve the net control list for Thursday. And then Thursday night is or Thursday all day, Thursday, 13 hours worth, is the Did You Feel It earthquake drill. Those instructions are already out as well. Included in those instructions are a PowerPoint presentation. We'd like to see you and your family kind of go through those just so you have an idea what to do in an earthquake. And that's a very straightforward drill, just pretty much like last year, where people just check in with their did you feel it message. Apologies in advance, but I've managed to crank out 2 or 3 things this week that were not quite ready or had errors in them. So I've had to correct them. And I'm going to have to do the same thing again with the latest version of the summary that everybody fills out after the exercise. So I put version B out yesterday. Later yesterday, I put out version C. And sometime this weekend, I'll probably put out version D because C had a mistake in it. So sorry about that, but sometimes we just can't pick everything up. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions about exercise development, ask away tonight.
All right, David, I lost my the audio here for a little bit. So I don't know if you did this. Do you want to address a little bit that we've going to be working on trying to minimize the messages coming out every time a file gets changed?
Yeah, and I think we're doing a good job of that now, but a few people have given us feedback that they're getting too many messages. So we've tried to cut back on those. The main things that go out that need to go out, and they need to go out without waiting a week for somebody to get them, we push out to everybody right then there. We hit the button and it's forced to everybody. The reason we do that is because a few people are on a daily setup to get messages daily, a daily digest, and some people a weekly digest, which is not good for our organization. So, if we have an exercise instructions come out, we want to push that out to everybody right then. But we try not to use that when we don't need it, and we try to not put it out to everybody every time we change a file in the file system on the group's IO because you get inundated. But to a certain point, you got to be there to get messages. So that's all I can think to say on that, really.
I appreciate that. So I'm going to reiterate what you mentioned, and we did make it a stress point. Please make sure you have Daily Digest turned on, because you always want to make sure we do what we can to minimize the messages, and a lot of it is on David because of all the work that he does do. We are cognizant of the kind of traffic you get, but also we did 2 things where you want to keep it on Daily Digest. One is working to minimize the messages that get created every time something gets done. And we kind of got on everybody's case because there was way too much traffic during an exercise, which then just compounded. And your mailbox would be fuller for a whole week with all the stuff happening. So you guys who were part of it back then have been doing great minimizing the traffic. We don't want none if there's a good reason, but the quickie little traffic, we thank you very much for minimizing that.
Yeah, if I could dovetail on that, one of the things that we do when I publish things, I always lock them so that people can't reply to them, because you put out an exercise and people start replying, and next thing you know, there's 100 messages there. So I do that with every single thing that I put out to people. So most of the problems that we've seen with mass mailings are involved with what Rory was just talking about. People start a thread on their own and then it just keeps going. And when it's important and it's needed, that's fine, but we sure don't want to do it in exercises. The group has gotten really good about not doing that in exercises, unless somebody has a problem and they need help, and then that's appropriate.
Absolutely. And one more kudos for David while we're staying focused on him for the Did You Feel It shakeout. Is David was able to get us to be a registered group. So when you read the instructions, follow through them as David's got them all written out, because we will get noted as a group for all of us when you do it through the EDM parameters that we participated as a useful group for feeding into. And if you don't know it, when amateur radio operators feed in their reports, it goes straight to the USGS. It does not get filtered because as a community, they know we don't play games, that we're very trustworthy. So to be able to then get the extra level of being labeled as a group even raises our I don't know what the right word would be, but we get thought of better than we even had been before. So David, thank you for making that happen. All right, next person up is the guy we all have to be friends with, because without him, we don't get to stay members. Andy, you're up.
Well, for those who don't know, I'm probably the first guy you deal with when you apply. I handle your application, get it approved or disapproved, put you on rosters, track a few other things, do some mundane paperwork around here just to keep things flowing, and basically support the whole committee. Nothing else really I can tell you about what I do, because that's pretty much it in a nutshell. If anybody has any questions about membership or anything like that tonight, you can bring it up. I'll try and give you an answer, but I don't know of any issues that are going on right now. Excuse me. That's really all I got for an intro. I think Rory kind of stole what I was going to say in the beginning, but so
Say it again. Put it
no
in your
sense me
voice.
repeating all of it.
Now
So,
put it in your voice.
all right. Well, with that, I'll turn it back over to Rory.
Okay. Sorry, I stole it.
That's all right.
Our newest member, Mike, who lives in the hills, kind of. He's very quiet, but he's not going to be allowed to be quiet tonight. Mike?
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this, and thank everybody for allowing me to be a part of it. My main purpose, I guess, is data extraction, trying to make things a little easier and a little quicker to get out our survey or summaries of the surveys. If as you're filling out the surveys and filling out those reports or whatever that the exercise calls for, the drill calls for, please try to follow the directions and format everything exactly the way that it's written, because I've created some macros and forms. I'm a hacker, okay? I'm a self-taught computer hacker, so I've built these programs or these macros to read the data, and if it's not set up exactly the way, if the input is not exactly the way it's supposed to be, then I end up having to go in and manually enter all that data. So I would ask that, please put everything in as best you can, exactly the way the instructions say. And along with that, the new survey forms that we've been using the last few drills, they have macros built into them. If you have a problem running those macros, if you get errors or pop-ups or whatever, and you just can't figure it out, please feel free to give me a call or an email or whatever, and I can hopefully help you figure out how to get those things to work, because it does help with getting the summaries out as quick as we possibly can, so that you get the feedback that we desire for you to have. With that, that's really all I have to say. If you have any questions during the later on, feel free to bring them up. Back to you, Rory.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I'm going to add on a little bit, dovetail, if you will. I like that word, David. I grew up in IT as a programmer and having to deal with data coming in that I couldn't control. And I will tell that, yes, it has to be precise. So you want to do it to make our lives easier. So when we get back to you to say, this is what occurred during the exercise or the drill, it comes out a lot quicker with a lot less headache and frustration on our end. But Mike makes sure it gets put in there. But if you follow the instructions, exactly as written, it's done purposely that way to make the reporting back to you go a lot better. The second part is for what we're training about, which is however you're going to be helping somebody else and they ask you to do something a particular way because it's communications, this is a way to also be keeping your mindset of a focus of every little detail is important because it's important for them because they ask you to do it that way. You want to follow through. So this is a great way to keep that minutia detail focus going on all the time as well. All right, our more silent partner, Gary, I'm not going to say anything other than you do a lot of work for us in the background. Is there anything that you want to say here in the foreground?
Well, can you hear me okay?
Hear you fine,
Okay.
great.
I'll just give them an idea of who I am. I was in the military, in the Air Force for 10 years and got out. Well, what I was a medic. I was drafted to be a medic during the Vietnam era. And then when I got my third stripe, they made me NCOIC of surgery for the 49th Tactical Math Hospital. If anybody knows what an NCOIC does, it's a lot of paperwork. And so I got a lot of practice doing the paperwork that this committee does. So I'm fairly comfortable doing it. I also am part of the Maricopa County Search and Rescue Team in Arizona and do a lot of work with their radios and records also. And if you have any good ideas that you think that the committee should know about, feel free to give me a email. My email address is goodinqrz, and I'll see to it that they get it and I can get back to you. And I guess that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Gary. More than you've ever said before. I also want you guys to know that we definitely wanted Gary on a team because we needed somebody to help represent those who are on the other side of the Mississippi River. Gary volunteered. Thank you, Gary. Okay, so that covers the official part of what we're here for. Now on to the next official thing. Use guys, as they say in Brooklyn. It's use guys. I put in a video. Hopefully that you'll have questions. Some of you have it written down, so you don't have to remember what you thought about. The floor is open. So unmute yourself and pop in, and hopefully there'll be just enough time where nobody will be pumping on each other. Because I can't see hands up or anything else, so I'm going to have to do it a different way. So I'm just going to trust you guys to be operating like you're on the air net, and you'll say, "Can I go?" So go for it.
AZS.
Go ahead, ZS.
Okay, this is Randy, K0AZS, and I guess one of the things, and I haven't been reluctant to throw it up over on because I don't want to tie up the email group, as you said, for an individual thing, but my personal case, my schedule has changed. My VFW post moved to the second Tuesday of the month every month, so I have been unable to participate the last few exercises. And I'm glad to hear that Thursday is independent, but it was I guess I'm not always clear if I have to do the Tuesday, is the feed into Thursday, or are they going to be independent most of the time? As far as finding out net controls, that type of things, because it looks like as long as we're second Tuesdays, I'm just not going to be able to play because I can't get home. I don't want to leave this rig going when I'm out of the house, and I can't really, always make it home in time before you guys clear out. So again, it's a pretty personal one, but maybe other folks have a similar situation.
Guys? David?
Well, yeah, Randy, let me just throw in the 2 cents. You know, we have a problem with participation, which is one of the things we want to get feedback on tonight. So we've done some surveys and we found that people really like the weekday exercises better than the weekend exercises. But there are people that still like the weekend exercise as well. And we found that Thursday night is the best night. Tuesday night is the second best night. But there are people that can do one but not the other. So we've been trying to mix it up. And sometimes we have exercises where both nights or 3 nights even tie themselves together. They're connected. You know, this next week they're not. But we'll continue to try to mix them up as best we can to give everybody a chance to participate.
And to add on to that, one, we appreciate and grateful for the times you can participate. And by you asking the question is, it's still a personal desire, but your life says right now it's got some limitations, and it's certainly understandable. That's why we did the survey, knowing what night is better than the other. But as you can, and as you can, and we thank you for the heads up, certainly.
Yeah, and of course that change in meeting took place after you guys did the survey. But of course.
Well, yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Randy. Next
John,
up.
KC5QOC. I got a
Go.
question for your your note taker or your guy that does the what do they call them? The surveys. You said there are macros installed, and I assume that these are necessary macros, but when my system downloads them, it says, I'm not going to let you use those macros. They're protected. It will not allow me to use the macro. Is there some way to get it to where it will? And if I can't use the macro, if I fill it out normally and then send it back, can the macro access the information that I put in?
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, this is Mike. Yes, I understand the Windows has that feature built in, but it can be bypassed or overwritten for certain forms and whatever. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, David actually is putting out a little thing that I did that shows how to get that macro to work. But when you get that, if you can't figure out how to, if it doesn't work for you or whatever, my email's good, or through the group IO, contact me and I can get you my number or whatever, and we can talk and I can walk you through it. But I understand the secured macros, security and stuff like that. But they can work. It's just you have to go through a few steps to set up a couple buttons or whatever so that it will work. Okay.
It
That
seems like
document, that document is in the instruction set for Thursday.
okay.
The instruction set included about 5 different files, and one of them is that file that tells you how to try to get around that problem.
Okay. Is a follow up on that? It's if I don't enable the macros, they say hidden or whatever, and I send the form back with the data is in there, will the macro then be able to process the data that's there?
No.
No.
No, basically you're just sending me a regular Word document, and I have to enter that in manually, because the macro, if you'll notice, like on the question has yes, no, or maybe, or whatever. If the macro is working, if you click yes, then it locks out the no and the maybe or whatever. And if whoops, I really meant no on that, and you click no, then it unlocks the yes, and
Okay,
so it puts that in automatically. But so in short, if it comes in and the macro wasn't used, then I take your form and manually enter the stuff in.
then it's
But
lost and gone forever.
well, no, we have the forms, but
Yeah,
uh,
okay,
like I say,
understood.
if the instructions don't make sense, or you need me to help you walk you through it, uh, get in touch
Okay,
with me, and we can make it work.
I gotta make this stuff that you send me to be trusted. That way it won't bother, but I don't know
Mhm.
how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I'm going to answer the question differently for anybody else who was thinking somewhat similar. When, whether it's a macro or a full programming language, when it's designed to look for something a particular way, that's all it's going to do. Just think of the way wives think of husbands when we look for something in the refrigerator. We expect it to be on the top shelf. And no matter where else is in the refrigerator, we just expect it to be on the top shelf, and we don't see it right there on the second shelf. Programs kind of work the same way.
Yes, I'm a C programmer. I understand that.
Good. All right. Thank you for the question. Good. Next up.
Guys, this is Gary, KB1CAD. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, first, thanks, guys. I appreciate everything the committee's doing. I mean, I keep saying I'm fairly new when I'm when I'm on the radio, but I feel like I am. I'm still kind of a rookie here, but I'm probably like 4 years with a license. But I, I do learn a lot with these exercises. And although I can't make all of them, I do learn something when I attend, so I appreciate that. I wanted to just offer something to Mike, with the forms, and I can appreciate the fact that you've got something set up, a nice system that you know like you said, it requires us guys to feed it back to you in such a way that your program or the macro can sort of parse it all without you having to manually make any adjustments. uh, what I'm suggesting here is, I just dabble in a little bit with ChatGPT. I don't know if anybody has used it, but I almost feel like you could almost do away with some of those hiccups or those macros that are causing some of the issues. I think if ChatGPT might be able to parse a lot of the feedback and data that you get, no matter what form it comes in, um, and give you the output that you want to send back to us in a way that eliminates some of the headaches that we have with the macros, and some of the headaches you have with the macros and trying to manually make adjustments so you can put it in a nice format. It's just a quick suggestion, something that might be worth exploring. uh, you'd be surprised at what it can do. um, so I'm just throwing that out there as a suggestion, but again, thanks guys, appreciate.
Okay, I appreciate the info. I've never really messed with the CBT or whatever it's called, but I'm willing to explore anything. Like I said, I'm a hacker. I wasn't trained. I just kind of self-taught. So, I figure out a way to do it. But I like to do a lot of playing around. So I'll give that a look and see what it does.
Yeah, I mean,
Appreciate it.
you'll be careful you don't hurt yourself when you fall off your chair when you start using it, because it's going to knock you over, I think, when you first start looking at it. The way I envision you maybe using it is literally taking these Word documents, or better yet PDFs, um, in that raw format, the way we send them back to you. This is exclusive of any macros or anything like that. If I say yes or yep or give you okay or thumbs up, and somebody else, does something different with that question as an example, ChatGPT will understand what message we're trying to get across, and you could take those files, attach all of those PDFs to the chat, and it'll parse it in a way that your macros do, but can account for different responses that mean the same thing, if that makes sense. It definitely worth experimenting with, and I'm happy to help if you need help. And I'm not 100% sure it's going to work 100%, but I think it might save you some time in the end. Again, worth giving it a try.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that, but, and, and I will look at it, but, I think Rory touched on it earlier. One of the things that, for our credibility as a group, is we need to make sure that what we answer or what we send to our agency, whoever we're working for at the time, needs to meet their requirements. So part of this, I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but part of it is following directions, I guess. I don't want, I mean, I don't mean to step on toes, but that's one of the things we need to make sure we do is whoever the leader or the group is that needs the information, if they ask for it in a certain way, we need to give it to them in a certain way. But I appreciate that, and I will play with that chat.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah, no, that makes sense too. Yeah,
Okay.
It's worth looking at. It might make your life a little easier, but
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, there's another group that's looking for a certain format and wants to make sure that what you're giving them is accurate. That makes sense.
Yeah, appreciate it.
NASBE, Dave.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out is that in the instructions for being able to enable the macros, that's in that survey enable instructions v1.docx. One of the lines in there says right click on the file name before opening it. That should say right click on the file name and choose properties from the context menu before opening it.
Okay. And to be honest with you, when I put that out, I was still using Word 2019, and since afterwards I upgraded to whatever it is, Word 365, whatever.
Right.
And so some of the clicks and things, but yeah, and I should have said properties, but for me to get it to work before, I had to go through that step. But that's a good point. I'll work on updating that.
Okay. And then
I
I
appreciate
want one other item, which is kind of unrelated, but maybe related in a way. I have been off the air now since mid-July. And so I have not been able to participate in these things. And the reason is because we're having work done on the house. And I had to take my antennas down in the backyard for these guys. And then they have been dragging their feet. And so we're still trying to get them to finish up the outside work. As soon as that happens, I can put my antennas back up. But in the meantime, I had to take them down because it'd be in the way of their equipment. So I have been essentially just off the air completely since mid-July because I don't have any outside antennas up.
So are you asking for some grace?
I'd like to have a little grace. Yes, I don't want to get kicked out for lack of participation.
And Andy, this is your realm.
Dave, I don't think you have anything to worry about. We got your back. Don't worry about it. We got your back.
There you go, Dave.
Dave,
Okay.
Dave, drop a email to EDM Answers with that particular error, so about the right click, so we have the details. Might make it easier for us for Mike to get that in there.
This Bruce Can for GDX got a couple of comments.
Bruce, David, no matter what, I'll make sure that I highlight when I send out the transcriptions about that and pass that on to Mike as well. Bruce, go for it.
Hi, everybody. Need to fix the label on my picture there. I'm KN4GDX in Virginia, not far out of Washington, DC, but out in Fox and Hounds country, thank God. So a couple comments on Chat GPT. Highly recommend it. One thing I did recently, I've got a friend down in Australia who writes for the what's it called? One of the major magazines down there, and he just became a ham not too long ago. He's a doctor, PhD, and I was kind of curious about what was happening in the MCOM area down in Australia, so I posed a question to Chat GPT. Whoop. Got some QRM in there.
Bill Barrett, can you mute your microphone, please? All right, keep on going, Bruce.
Yeah, Silicon Chip is the magazine. If you're not familiar with it, it's an excellent magazine from Australia dealing with maker type stuff and covering all kinds of topics. Anyways, I asked Chat GPT to tell me about MCOM in Australia and the use of, in particular, how WinLink and VAR-AC are used. And I got back a lot of details, tables, different groups that are using the various techniques, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll send that over to Rory and David when I get a moment. It's in a Word document. And then my other comment had to do with Word. I have no problem with the macros. I do have quite a few computers here. Some of them actually have Microsoft applications. Others, especially with the big changeover on Win 11 and the Win 10 machines that are not going to be supported any longer. A lot of people are using LibreOffice or other facsimiles of Office type documents. So I had a question whether, and I haven't tried this, but if I opened a Word document using LibreOffice's Word facsimile, is it going to work? Do you know? Is that going to be a problem? It's not a problem for me, but it could be a problem for somebody else using a Linux.
AJ6MJ here.
Yeah.
I use LibreOffice Writer and I filled out the survey with no problems.
Good to know. Good to
Same,
know.
same here.
Great. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks, everybody. I've only been a member here for a few months now, but I really enjoy the group. It's a great group. Thank you.
We're glad to have you. And just as a general note, for compatibility between LibreOffice and Microsoft Office 365, whatever, when it's just basic, simpler stuff, it's pretty much 100%. It may not look exactly the same, but functionality is not until you get into the more fun, higher order features that there might be some issues. And that goes for anybody who deals with any of the various documents. They all make sure they have at least a basic compatibility for all the various documents. So Bruce, that's cool. Thank you very much.
I got a few
Who's next?
comments. Got a few
Ron,
comments.
Whiskey Z1 Victor. You love the back of the alphabet, don't you?
Yeah, I'm always dead last in people's logs. They sort alphanumerically, so that's okay. It's good to, when you're at the bottom, you can only look up. So works good. Bless you. So
Thank you.
yeah, I had a comment there. I want some grace for Tuesdays because Tuesdays is a rough night for me. I have a weekly thing going on. Starts at 7 p.m. and fortunately it usually wraps up around 9. So I like the fact that you've made it the Tuesday night activities a little later, starting at 9 Eastern. That works for me. So thank you for that. And then the other slightly off topic thing I wanted to bring up is this Windows 10 end of support thing coming up in another week or so. Well, it's next week, isn't it? 14th, I believe. I just let you know, you guys, I am running a version of Windows 10 that'll be supported until 2032. Not upgraded, but downgraded all my machines to version 2021 Enterprise Windows, LTSC. This is the IoT version. And I bought new product license keys for all the machines that don't support Windows 11 because of hardware deficiencies. And they're all working just fine. I'm talking to you on one of these machines right now. Everything works. I'm a programmer. I'm a hardware and software electronics engineer, and all my programming programs work fine. Everything I'm doing, even in DOS, works fine. So yes, I can run DOS programs under Windows, not in a
Yep.
virtual box, though. I mean, I have actual access to DOS from Windows 10. There is a way to do that. If you ever need it, let me know, and I'll give you details of what you can do.
Okay, Ron, thank you. Do us a favor, for what you just specified, what can get done. If you could put together a little write-up and send it to EDM Answers, we'll make sure that it looks good, and then we'll, get it over into, target stations, so that everybody can view it. I know there are a couple of ways to, keep things going, and, that's one that I had, not heard. As far as MS-DOS, no, thank you. No, because I might as well go back to my IBM hardware days as well, when we had nothing but an IBM console and key punch cards. That's what it goes back to for me. To Bruce Campbell, Bruce, I forgot to ask you. Don't send it to David and myself. What you got? Send it to EDM Answers. This way,
Okay.
the whole steering committee gets to see it.
Sure.
If you
I'll
could
do
do that, it'd be appreciated.
No problem.
Thank you. It's Crandall, not Campbell. My apologies. Okay, next up. Who wants to go?
I'll jump in if I can.
Go ahead, Patrick.
All right. So couple comments and a question. First comment is I can write up a document for setting a trusted folder in Word. That way you don't have to deal with right clicking and unblocking. You just save all these into that folder and the macros work for you. It's basically somebody put a link up on the website and I can write a document up with all the pictures and that if you want. So, question is, I'm a target station normally. So on Tuesday, I would be a field station, I'm assuming.
That's correct.
Okay.
I am the only net control station Tuesday.
Okay. And I think I was listed as just 40 meters because I had a kind of homebrew antenna going. I actually have a better antenna now, so I can do pretty much anything from 80 all the way up to 6. So
Okay, great.
So I'm going to ask you, Patrick, for both things, if you could each as a separate message to EDM Answers, put in the information about the word, and then Mike can follow through.
Yes.
And if there's a way to make the life easier for everyone, absolutely cool. And then for that, your availability, that's something Andy can pick up on and then work it out into the rest of the steering committee's
Okay.
responsibility. So thank
right.
you for that.
Yep. I was going to say, I was going to draw up the document tomorrow afternoon so I could just send it over if you want. So, and then if you guys want to put it up, you put it up. If you don't, you don't. So,
It's food for thought for going forward, regardless.
yep. All righty.
So we thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, Patrick. Who wants to come up and step up to the microphone? I see some microphones that are unmuted, but I don't see somebody coming up.
Well, I can talk to you. This is
Go for it.
John,
All the way from New Mexico.
all the way from New Mexico. I would appreciate more WinLink exercises. I noticed that we're doing a lot of RAC, but I like WinLink. I just thought I'd throw that out.
Very good, John. I've got that noted. I've heard that comment from several people in our after action surveys. So
Great.
And just so everyone understands, VAR AC, if you haven't, by the way, seen Irad, the guy who owns VAR AC, he put out a video a while ago, so we all know how to pronounce it. So it is only one way, it's VAR AC. That's the official way. If you say Varick or something like that, we're not going to throw you off the team. But because VAR AC added so many capabilities so quickly, David had so much fun working that in for what we can use for what we're doing, because the WinLink P2P function has been the same for like years. So part of it was just to make sure we captured all the additional functionality that VARC has that's useful for an EDM type environment. So it's not like we're forgetting about it, but there's a very great reason because we wanted to explore, and David did a great job in doing that for what it can do.
Rory, could I
Yeah.
say something?
Of course, Gary.
Back in '76, the Air Force sent me to school to get my nursing degree. And in '76, you might remember that there was the Guatemalan earthquake. And every Guatemalan student on campus was knocking on our door, wanting to know what was going on down there. And so I got on, and it took a whole day almost to find a station down there. The only reason I found one is because I'm also a Mars operator, and the Mars people helped me find it. Short story long, the Vera AC enables us through the broadcasting to be able to ascertain where stations are, what their availability, and be able to enable us to hook up the different stations so that we can handle the traffic necessary. It will cut down the time immensely.
Yeah, if I could dovetail on that as well. WinLink works very well for formal messaging, and even for short messages, it works very well. We have found in several exercises that we've done with VMail, with VARAC VMail, that VMail works okay, but it takes a lot longer to send a short little message with VMail than it does with WinLink. And of course, WinLink P2P is, that's in our genes in this organization. But VARAC also offers so many other things that will help support the WinLink side, like identifying net control stations en masse, checking in, finding out who's there and where they are via broadcast or beaconing. So, we want to continue fiddling with, if you will, those features, because I think that they're becoming an important part of the toolbox that helps support the WinLink portion itself.
And for the people who are kind of new, not just our new members that have joined since our last Zoom session, but just in the past year and a half, when we started doing this, VAR-AC had two great features that we loved. The beaconing, and then when he added the broadcasting, it was like, wow, this is fabulous. It allowed us for the first step of the two-step process of getting a network going when all else fails. The heartbeat of what we're about. But because Arad has had a much larger vision than what we originally were seeing in the product, that it added all these extra possibilities as well. So it's been metamorphosizing into EDM as it goes through its growth stages as well. So both are critical, but RAC being the opening step is the one you want to have a really solid ground on, so you know how to find each other and then do the WinLink P2P with its strengths. So if you're hearing from each one of us, it's a different perspective of each tool has a solid strength, but RAC, because of its increasing capabilities, just gives us more things to learn and to train everybody on. And we're, by the way, folks, we get trained as well. It's not like, well, we know this stuff. We're kind of learning along the way. Steering committee members, we learn because David said, here's an exercise. What do you guys think? And we go, wow, that's pretty cool. We didn't know the feature existed. David did. So we're all learning along the way. We just want to make sure that we're leading the way in the learning.
Yeah, this is Gary, KB1CAD. I like how you guys use both, WinLink and Vara AC. I appreciate how the two can work well together. I'm curious. There's another feature I've used with some other, just kind of fooling around with it, and that is with Vara AC, anyways, is the ability to send images. I'm just curious, is the committee considering or thinking about an exercise that might utilize that feature with Vara AC?
We have not talked about that, although we knew that it did that. But of course, WinLink does that as well. And WinLink does it really, really well because you can take an image and crop it and resize it within, 10 seconds to get it down to a reasonable size and then transmit it. But I think it is worth looking into that feature.
Now, a caveat to all you guys who are hearing David says, yeah, we're going to look into that. That doesn't mean go looking for it in the next month or two. It's
Oh,
something
yes.
David has to work into all the other things that he has got going on his desk in front of him that the steering committee hasn't necessarily seen. So don't be eager looking for it. Just knowing that as soon as David can, he'll be putting it out there for you.
We do understand though the value of it. I mean, it would be great for like a windshield survey. A picture's worth 1,000 words. So it is a good idea. We're going to look at it.
Gary, could you please explain for those who do not know what a windshield survey is?
A windshield survey is something that the Red Cross uses to ascertain damage reports, so that the EOCs and other agencies know where to concentrate their manpower, equipment, and everything. And basically, they just drive through the streets and they observe, and that's why it's called a windshield survey. Then after they make that, then they do a more detailed one on the ground, and that's when they start marking the doors, with the circle and cross and everything. But that's it in a nutshell.
So it's a ground level drive-by initial visual survey without any further assessment, but just get an idea of, okay, that house is gone, that house is standing, and so they get an idea of a percentage of the type of losses. Great. I never heard that before until you mentioned it the other night, but it didn't take much to figure it out. But I want to make sure everybody here knows it. The newbies who are
One
here.
of the things I wanted to mention real quick about that topic with VAR-AC is that, as you all know, we've done several exercises where we've used broadcasting to announce a net control station list, a target station list for either that day or for a future day. It has worked extraordinarily well. We have found that within minutes, most of the country, our members in most of the country, have got that data. This next week on Tuesday, I decided to try to take a different approach and have it done with just one net control station. So there will be no relaying, there will be no forwarding these broadcasts. You'll just be receiving them. And we want to see how well we can spread it with one person putting that information out, putting that out twice, I should say 4 times each 15-minute period. But I'll tell you, it's worked really well so far. So we want to see how this works.
And part of why I think David's doing it, I haven't even asked him, so tell me if I'm correct or not, is when you're in this all else fails type scenarios, and there are various ways it can occur, is there's not going to be one way that you're going to be able to communicate with each other. If you take a look at our logo, it was designed showing that not everybody can talk to each other as part of a main feature of a real disaster. So David's designing things so that depending upon that kind of a bad scenario, this is what you're going to be dealing with. And you have this other kind of scenario, these are the other limitations you have. Am I correct?
Yes, well said.
Okay, quick little focus. Any of the newbies have anything that you think is not really a question that the others want to hear? The question is for everybody to ask because you want the answer. So don't go by what you're hearing, that those are great questions. Mine's not. The only really good question that is not a good question is the one that you don't ask when you have the opportunity to do so.
This is Lloyd, and
Hi, Lloyd.
I was not participate. I in the beginning I participated in everything. My wife got sick late last year, and then I got sick after that for about 6 months. Well, everybody was learning their AC. I was sort of out of things. I couldn't do anything. And then I jumped in again. And where do you find this? Where do you find that? I've had a heck of a time. I'm finding, and I can identify with newbies because I had a little tidbit of the very AC before an introduction, so, shall we say, a cursory. And then I'm trying to find these things. And other than going back and trying to redo all the other exercises and try and understand what's gone on before, it is awful to catch up on bits and pieces that I missed out on along the way.
Lloyd, the best solution for that is to go to the drill modules. Our whole idea with doing drill modules was to have a database basically that tells you step by step how to do everything that we do. So within the drill module directory in the file section, there are many different drill modules. There's a drill module on how to do peer-to-peer, on how to do VAR AC broadcasting, how to do VAR AC beaconing, how to do VAR AC VMail, how to do VAR AC VMail with relay. There's 3 different ones that tell you how to set up each of the profiles for VAR AC. So those are the key, I think, to having you get back up to snuff on things. And because you were inactive for a while, as we transitioned to that over the last 6 months, you missed that transition, I think, a lot.
If he wants still a little practice, he could email me and we could maybe work up a schedule and we could, practice on the air if he needs to practice. I'd be glad to work with him.
Well, the biggest problem is trying to find things. I learned a lot. I believe it was the last exercise. There were things on the screen. It's because about the mail, and I'm saying, where are these things? Well, it turned out on my screen, that part was basically down at the bottom, almost hidden behind some other letter. And eventually I found it, but I didn't know where to look for it. And then when I finally found it, oh yeah, here's this. And by bits and pieces, I keep stumbling on the things I want to know or catch up on. And it just has not been an orderly thing. And I think about newbies coming in and possibly wanting to get on an exercise that's going on. Well, okay, we want you sending a message or whatever. I know for the things coming up, we were talking about not being on the frequencies and some different things. So I thought that was pretty good, but still, maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I just feel that I'm not up where I want to be.
Well, I think that a lot of us feel that way, which is why we keep trying to exercise these things to keep them fresh in mind. So don't feel bad. But another way to approach that, after you've looked at the drill modules, if you're having problems like you just mentioned, those are operational problems. Go ahead and post a posting on Groups.io and ask the question, because most of the time within minutes after somebody does that, there's going to be a couple people jumping in and saying, hey, this is what you might look at. This is what's going on. It's rare that there's bad information. Once in a while there is. And if there is, one of the steering committee members will jump in and correct it, but that's a real reliable source.
And Lloyd, in addition to that, the drill modules that David is directing you to, there's a half a dozen or more of them, but they're individually, they're not real long. They are detailed enough to tell you what you need to go to learn that particular function. Do you have any trouble finding them on the in the file section? Do you know where they're at?
Drill modules. Yeah, I think that's what I was looking at. And there were just so many of them. And then some of them were moderately long. And maybe it's just that I was overwhelmed with the amount of information I missed out on.
All right, listen, let me do this. I'll tomorrow daytime, I'll go up on the file section. I'll go over them myself and I'll try to select which ones would be most helpful for you. And I'll shoot some information to you in an email and maybe make it easier for you to access it.
Hey, I would appreciate that.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna write that down right now and I'll take care of that tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
I'll be in
Andy,
touch.
great job,
Rory?
Andy.
Lori,
Yes,
we had a question pop up from Patrick, but I didn't see which Patrick it was, about Tuesday night's data, and I assume he's talking about the net control station data. If somebody is not participating Tuesday night, is that information going to be available? And yes, for this drill, Thursday, the daytime 13-hour, whatever it is, earthquake drill, we will be publishing the net control station list on Wednesday. I'll be publishing it as a map, and you click on the map for each person to see their specific details, their call sign, their NCS designation, and what channels, frequencies they're going to be on, their entire schedule. It'll be exactly the same information that I will be transmitting via broadcast on Tuesday night.
excellent. Thank you. For those who only had planned for 1 hour, we're at the 1 hour mark. So officially, if you need to go ahead, and we thank you, because I can see just about everybody has stayed. Only one person I've noticed has left, which is really cool. I'm definitely going to stay here, as I had mentioned in the video. We're not looking to cut it off to 1 hour only, but we did want to make sure that there's no expectations of you needing to stay to show that you really are involved. So if anybody does need to go, please go with our blessings, and we thank you for being here. But we're still open. So if there's another question, comment, query, or complaint, we have a complaint department. It's really small, but we have a complaint department. Everything's open. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to you guys for those drill modules. I've gone through those and things that I was confused about. When you talk about VRC especially, that's complicated. Setting up the different, what do you call them, for relay messaging and for beaconing and all that. Well, I went through the drill modules and now I understand it completely. So thank you for all that work you did in the drill modules. It was very helpful to me. So
Thanks, Ron.
I got to run, but we'll be on for next week's Tuesday thing. They're watching for what's going to happen with this automatic reply. That'll be
All
interesting.
right. Thanks, Ron.
Ron, I'll be looking
Bobby.
for you at the bottom of the list.
Bobby had a question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Andy, if you would kind of do that post that you're going to do for John and maybe just make a folder, I think that would be great for everyone to see it. I've been traveling a lot. I recently retired and fortunately been able to travel a lot. So I've been missing a lot. I try to log in whenever I can and find the same kind of issues that John was pointing out. Sometimes I'm struggling a little bit to catch up. I'm not home long enough. But you guys, I hadn't thought about, just post it on Groups AI.io. That's easy idea. And you have maybe a mentors group just list up there because it sounds like a lot of Elmers are there and we just need to know that it's okay to ask. So even for those of us that have kind of dived in and out of this over time and not just beginners, that kind of support's really important.
Oh, what I'll do, if you're not familiar with the group's IO filing system, it can be a bit confusing sometimes. We're in it enough that we've kind of learned to find our way around inside of it. I will look at it tomorrow and I will see if I can't post some simple directions for how to get to where the files you're looking for are. But yes, I'll address that tomorrow. And the screen just changed. Where are you at?
South Carolina, Greenville.
There you go, Bobby. Okay, let me write your call sign down.
I think we're neighbors.
Bobby,
Where
you
you
have
at?
to keep on talking so Andy can see your call sign on the display.
Where you at, Bob? Where you at,
okay.
Bobby?
I'm in Greenville.
Oh,
AQ4GIW.
I'm in Chesterfield. I'm pretty much due east of you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere between Charlotte and Myrtle Beach.
Okay, gotcha.
So Andy, you can put the instructions on a rock and throw it?
Well, and maybe if I got a good strong slingshot, maybe. But we'll take care of it. I'll try
I got
and
a throw bag right here. I was going to work on that tomorrow. Maybe that can help.
let me see what I can do to make this a little more accessible to you fellows.
It's not even just that. I mean, I can find it, but I do think it's really helpful to have like, hey, just read these 4 or 5, start with this. And then if you get through that, maybe try these 4 or 5. And that's a
Well,
plenty.
anytime if you guys run into a problem, drop one of the people on the steering committee a letter or an email or a text message or whatever.
EDM answers.
Let us know that you need some assistance, and one of us will answer it. And it might take us a day or two, but we'll get back to you, and somebody will help you try and find the information you need.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
the best way to do that is send it to EDM Answers, because
That's
then
true,
we
yeah.
all get it.
Yeah.
All of us get it.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that way I can give you one answer and Andy can give you a different one and Rory can give you a third one and you'll be confused.
And
You know,
you're
you might want to do a
totally, and you'll be totally lost.
you might want to do a single email post or PDF that says, hey, just like you said, groups IO answers. Here's these files, you know, here's our Elmer base, whatever. And like we can just say that forever. Okay, that would really be useful.
All right, let me see what I can do. Hopefully I can put something together for you. Make it a little bit easier.
Thank you.
So just as a follow-up to what David said, and I'm going to put this as a quick follow-up message after this. For anybody who has a question they didn't want to ask or they thought, right after it ended, I had this great question. Send it to EDM Answers. It's always there. We're always looking at it. So any kind of a follow-up for whatever your reason is, post it into EDM Answers, and we will follow up on it.
This is KJ4TKA, Charlie.
Charlie, go for it.
Yeah, I've got a quick question for you before you leave. In the last few exercises, we've been using the channels for VAR AC, but each of us also have an individual designated channel. Are we going to be using those in the immediate future?
Okay.
Charlie, try that one more time. You were a little bit garbled and I'm not sure if I understood it.
The last few exercises, we've been using the channels designated for VAR AC. Each of us also have as I understand it, a designated channel for our teams. And I want to know if those channels are going to be used or should I just ignore them?
Okay, good question. They're the same channels. You are right that up until now, most everybody has been assigned to a target team, but we've quit using the target teams because we've got so few active members that we just, if we use a target team and we got 2 teams, we got an Alpha and a Bravo. If we use Alpha team to be target stations, now we only have the Bravo ones to be able to be field stations, and there's just not enough people there. So we've quit using them. The list still exists, If I'm not mistaken, Andy is the one that keeps that, but we're not going to be using them for the time being anyway. We've only got about 25 to 30 people in this organization that are routinely doing exercises. So we have to try to find a way to have more field stations, and the way we've done that is by going out and asking for volunteer net control stations, assigning those people a net control station position for that exercise, and then everybody else is a field station, if that answers your question. And the other thing is, don't forget that those channels, they're not just for VAR AC, they're also for WinLink. You just have to make sure you keep the frequency straight on which one is you need for a center frequency versus a dial frequency. But those channels are both.
Okay,
They're used
all
for
right.
both.
So I have saved in WinLink all of my target stations. So I just really don't need them, do I?
No, you do not need those. Matter of fact, I just removed mine just a few weeks ago.
All right, you answered my question.
All right, to further to further clarify that status of those target station lists, because we haven't been utilizing them regularly, we had a discussion with the steering committee a few weeks ago, and we are keeping the list and the channels on those lists in existence in case we need to go back to them or use them. However, recent members who just came on board, there's probably half a dozen or 8 of you, have not been assigned to a target station. We know who you are. If we go back to using the target station list, I will update them, and everybody will be assigned a slot on a target station list if we need to use them in the future.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to jump in. It's really related, but not to EDM in particular. One of the reasons why you want to understand that structure is you want to have an understanding of assigned frequencies for each band for whatever your local operation would be. So if there's that sudden emergency and everybody needs to go somewhere, having a basic understanding of HF propagation, which is the first ones to go to, but at least you know there's only going to be one frequency per band that you're going to want to go to for your group to find each other. That's one of the things to extract out of the use of those charts, is so that you take that principle and apply it to whatever you're going to be doing locally, in preparing for that when all else fails type of a scenario. So we make it part of what we do, but we want to make sure that you also step it down to use that for designing your particular local usage.
Before we wrap up here tonight, Rory, I got a couple comments to a couple members here. Mind if I take the floor for a second?
It's yours.
Thank you. Craig, WD8DG or KDG, up there in the Pacific Northwest. Haven't talked to you in a while. How's things going out that way?
Everything's just okie dokie, Andy. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, and said a word all night, and I've been waiting for you to talk. But just wondering how you were making out. I know you had a whole bunch of issues going on up there.
Oh, everything, that can happen is all right. We have 2 primary amateur radio groups here in Deschutes County, Oregon, but they are repeater groups. So
Okay.
much of what we're doing with EDM does not apply.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I would like to say it's different, but it isn't. They have their way of communicating, linking their repeaters in event of a disaster. But Central Oregon, well, even Oregon, not much happens here. I think I've made that point clear. And because not much happens, no one has experience. And when we have a Cascadia event, it's going to be duck and cover.
Yeah. Well,
or put your head between your legs and kiss it goodbye.
Craig, you do the best you can with what you got where you're at.
Yeah. That's one reason why I'm with EDM. I still believe, even though I'm 100 and some miles away from the coast, going west looking for help, they may be underwater, tsunami, whatever. Help is going to be to the east. And there's not much east of me until I get to Idaho. It's going to be HF. We're not going to be linking repeaters of VARA HF or VAR FM. Gateway is good for one hop. It's not going to make it. It is what it is. It's going to be HF.
Well, regrettably, sometimes the facts are just what they are. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. I do have one comment for some of the newer members. I have my senior moments, and a lot of the information that we've been using, the drills and other things, I've printed those out and I have them in a 3-ring notebook. And one time here lately, it really came in handy because everything I had on VARA is corrupted. I had to delete everything and start over again. And I was glad I had the important things printed in a 3-ring notebook and, getting all the software installed, getting the profile set up. I had everything at my fingertips. I didn't have to go online. So if you're in a similar situation, your computer has a glitch and there's no, electricity or no internet, what do? You're going to hope you had it printed, the important things that you probably would never remember. Have those printed. Save yourself a heartache, and it's a lot easier to find, even for our exercises. Sometimes I find myself going back, looking at that, making sure I have it set up correctly, for our next exercise.
Yep. I've done the same thing. I have a big three ring binder, and I keep all that stuff in there, and it has come in handy several times. Absolutely. Thank you, Craig.
And to the point of EDM, when all else fails, that means you don't have internet. So if you don't have them stored on your computer, or your computer may not even be available, yes, the printing is an excellent idea. So I'm sorry, Andy, you got other people you want to?
I got one more guy I have a comment for, Terry Buzzard. Terry, I'm absolutely envious. Your beard makes mine look scrounchy. I don't know how you do it, but that is one awesome beard you're wearing, brother.
Thank
I just
you.
have to tell you that.
It's my seasonal beard
See, you grow that every year?
every
you
year.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
I start
this
about
year
in
is like
June.
5 years worth for me.
Oh, every year June.
Oh Lord, that looks good, man. That's coming real nice.
Thank you.
I'm done. I'm done. Back to business. Don't mind me.
Terry, my comment is, because I know where you live and what you get involved in, really appreciate you adding your time to EDM as well. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate that too. Thanks for you guys. It's a good experience because I like to dig a little bit deeper into things that are just, pretty much on the face side of it. But digging in a little deeper and going deeper. That's what I like to do.
And for where you are, which is Slamfest hurricane wise, yeah, various ways to prepare is really important.
Hey, I took a couple weeks vacation when the 2 hurricanes were slotted to come this way, so I was way out of the area. So and no problem there. But now I'm back.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, floor's still open for anybody if you got something. Then we will close it up officially at 22:20 Eastern Time, 20 after the hour for wherever you are. And again, thank you all for participating, and for those of you who stayed for this whole time, Thank you so very much. Of